What's up, guys? This is Coach Ray live from Dubai. I wanted to do a video, but I feel really tired from training and everything else. So I thought live stream would be less time consuming in some way than making a video about the same subject that I just did video about. So um, yeah, we'll wait for a few people to join up. But yesterday we had our midday training session on table close to 4 hours, and later in the evening close to 3 hours, so about 6 hours of pulling. I feel very tired. I slept till I don't know, 10, 11. uh, oh man, it's yeah, yeah. So I wanted to do a live stream, and today we're going to talk about, according to comments, why John Brzenk is not the GOAT of arm wrestling. So I made a video, um, like why John Brzenk is the GOAT and why it's kind of disrespectful when you bring someone else into that picture without understanding anything about the arm wrestling world. Basically, anything. Hey guys, so thank you guys for support. Yeah, we hit 50,000 subscribers yesterday. It's kind of it's really big, to be honest. I'm very happy. Like I woke up, nothing changed, nothing really changed, and there was not like a number that I'm aiming for. But I remember first 1,000 was cool. Uh, I remember it was hard. First 10,000 was that was so hard. I think close to a year took me to do that, or even more. I think more. I have to check back, but it was like a lot of work, and then 25, I think last year, and this year 50. And I think, of course, the support and everything from Larry Wheels, as well as the growing expansion of arm wrestling world, really helps. I feel like if you're trying to do a YouTube channel right now, and even if you're not a top arm wrestler, it's easier to get in than basically when me and Ryan started, as well as Artem. Wasn't that much, traction to it. So I'm very happy that kind of me and Yanis, we did this thing. We hit 50,000 subscribers on a channel that talks about arm wrestling, that doesn't do drama, that doesn't do gimmicks, fake things. That's just mostly about education, entertainment, if you value it like that, interviews and all those things. So I'm super happy, and I'm crazy, guys. I'm crazy. I'm very happy about all the support. So appreciate, much love, stay strong, and love arm wrestling. Um, yeah, I know most of the people are sleeping right now. So still, like, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I think 2 videos back or 3 videos back, you can go and find. There's only one GOAT. His name is John Brzenk. And of course, people gave their comments, like a lot of comments, you know, and like I answered to some, but some of them are kind of super silly, and I just want to bring them up. So I'm gonna go through the comments, and like the best arguments why John Brzenk is not the GOAT. Okay, first of all, what you need to understand: any real respected arm wrestler, so someone with credentials, someone who has wins on tournaments, world championship wins, uh, doesn't matter. But any real arm wrestler didn't say anything about this. Everyone's like, yeah, John's the GOAT. It's like, if you will find someone, they may have some biases from their country, like, yo, my guy is the GOAT, but even if you ask that guy, he's like, yeah, John Brzenk is the GOAT. So what we're looking for when we're talking about the greatest of all time, it's not the strongest one. It's not the one that's never losing. It's the dominance in your class, dominance outside your class. It's what makes you, pound for pound great. It's also longevity. How long can you do it? And like, no one has done it on a higher level than John with more success, you know. So the titles, like there's no one who has have more big tournament titles. There's no one that makes you, you know, piss your pants when he's in your class, you know. And John kind of did it whenever he was in the tournament. He's like, oh no, I either have to fight till that to get that first place, or I'm taking second, you know. And there's so many things that made John. Also, the quality of arm wrestling. So guys will throw out the names of big heavyweights, and I'm like, okay, like in my opinion, you can be the most dominant heavyweight, but your technique is so sloppy because you're big. And if you would come down to any other weight, you would get beat up by more technical guys. And that's just kind of, I feel like that's reality. So, of course, my biases, and well, I guess every pro arm wrestler biases are, you know, we're looking at some things that made John special. And if you're just a fan, you've just been to some tournaments, you've just seen some big guys just joined us a year ago, or doesn't matter, 5 years ago, but you haven't really experienced real things in arm wrestling, then you don't understand how great John Brzenk was. Uh, like, I saw him come back from retirement. Like, my only time I saw John, like 2 times I saw him pulling, and I have opportunity to pull him as well. And I figure out like, oh, yeah, this is why they call John John. So it's something completely different. And again, we're looking at things that happened like in the last 4 years for me, and the history was written like 40 years ago. So that's the difference, guys. It's very hard to put it in words, and it's very it's very stupid. I really don't care. I really don't care who you believe the GOAT is. Everyone knows who the GOAT is. But again, there are some arguments which I guess, well, if you have to comment, there must be a good argument. So let's take a look at those arguments. Okay. John was the reason why I got into arm wrestling. Dennis and Devon were the reason I'm still into arm wrestling. John, in my opinion, John is arm wrestling. Yes. Another thing, like you can have your favorites. Like John is the GOAT. He is one of my favorite arm wrestlers. But there are much more. There are a lot of guys that I really love, you know, watching them pull, or just I know them as a person and I really like them. So I'm rooting for them all the time. So you can have your favorites. John's still the GOAT. Doesn't matter. You know, if you're Bulgarian, you know, trained, lived in Bulgaria, Svetlana Gashevsky, you would say, is the GOAT. You ask Svetlana Gashevsky, he's like, nah, John's the GOAT. You know, but so like I love how Engin Thursday sends a message to Arsen, like, who's the GOAT? And who's the greatest arm wrestler ever? And she's like, of course, John. You know, Arsen's like, in 2 seconds. He's like, who else? There's no one else. So you can have your favorites, but if you would still ask, like, I don't know, Engin or someone, he like, of course, they would give more support for someone they know better, you know, or you know, it's for everyone. So you can have your favorites. You're open to that. It's kind of a silly thing. It's really silly thing. It's same thing as goes as like I can have like arm wrestler A and B arm wrestling, and A is good friend of mine. I really like him, but I still think B gonna win. I can still do that. I don't know where this coming from, but like you can still do that. You can have your favorites and still be real, you know? Yeah, everyone gave so much, like asked about why is Ryan in a thumbnail. Well, Ryan is in a thumbnail because I couldn't find a good picture of Schoolboy. Because so many people will bring up Schoolboy and say he's the next GOAT, or you know, and even I have seen it as Ryan, and Ryan sends me like a comment like the next day. He's like, yeah, this is exactly what you were talking about. Like people have such a dilated perspective of things, they really don't understand. So they will say like, yeah, you're almost there. And it's like, yeah, like levels. There are levels in the sport. And I will say like this, till this day, there are maybe about 10 guys that could be, maybe 20, let's say 20 guys that could be the next GOATs. Those guys, up until this day, have won their junior world titles or senior world titles, and they've been on a path of dominance. So maybe in 20, 30 years, if they keep it up, they are the GOATs. Everyone who hasn't done that up until this point, if you're 18, 19, 20, 21, most likely you will never end up better than John Brzenk. John started at 16, I think 16. What doesn't matter? At 18, world champion, and keep dominating for every year. Just getting better. But you need those titles from the starter. If you don't have them as a starter, too bad. Then Schoolboy doesn't have that title. He got second in Russian nationals. Good potential, sure, but he's a YouTube star, in my opinion, right now. It's a big difference when you're talking about, because you have to go to his videos and just look at the comments, and you will see like, oh, GOAT, next GOAT. And there are differences. It's another thing. This is not by any means the fault of athletes. Yeah, like Schoolboy, Devin, Dennis, doesn't matter. You name it, 11. It's not that they're going out and saying, oh, I'm the GOAT, except Travis Page. Yeah, but that's just Travis being Travis. It's people's perception of them. They think like, oh, like I have never seen anything better, so this must be the best guy ever. I don't know who he's arm wrestling, but he looks pretty dominant. He must be beating everyone. And when you talk to arm wrestlers, they're like, nah. When you talk with someone who's in the sport, when you have been to competition, because I have seen the faces of disappointment more than anything else in arm wrestling. Like the face of disappointment when you see someone going to the table and they have like their whole crew behind them. You're like, yeah, and the guy's never beat. Really doesn't understand what he's doing, and he gets smashed in a second. Gets 2 losses out of competition, 0 wins, and they're sitting there like, yeah, but you beat us all. We thought you're strong, and it's always a kind of reality check, and everyone gets that reality check. There are none undefeated arm wrestlers in arm wrestling. Mind blown. Everyone has lost. Everyone suffers loss. That's okay. That's just part of arm wrestling. So don't try to build up guys too fast. Give them, let them earn it. Don't think that they deserve it. There should be a song in this. Okay. Okay. Yeah, a lot of comments. Sorry, guys, I'm really not looking at the comments from live chat, but let's go. I saw some really good videos, comments. Sorry. Okay. Okay. All the best arm wrestlers worldwide, then and now. Praise John as the GOAT. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Okay. Yeah, so this is why I started with Bo in the picture. This is why Ryan is there, because sometimes people will give those comments, and it's always funny to me, and they'll put up him in conversation, and it's always funny to him too, Okay. Okay. John is definitely the greatest. Okay, that's yeah. John is definitely the greatest of all time. He would hook world-class hookers, even though he could top roll them. He could pull anywhere on table. I really believe that if John had not injured his shoulder, he was still pulling with Lavons and Dave Chaffee's of the sport right now. Yeah, I believe it too. The man's potential was incredible. It was just, I think, like, imagine doing the thing you're really good at and being really best at it for so long. I think it's mentally tiring. You kind of get, like, how much can I do? When you go higher, how higher can you go? And it's very hard to do it. And at some point, you just have to leave. Like, great examples are MMA. Like, Anderson Silva was one of my all-time favorites, still is one of my all-time favorite MMA fighters. When he lost to Chris Weidman and then lost his rematch, and then just unfortunate events like one after another. And I'm like, just leave, dude. But he loves the sport so much, he couldn't leave. John wasn't like, if John lost, John came back and won, time after again. So it's a thing that you need to understand. Like John's really the reality of his greatness goes beyond most sports. Like he's yeah. But I read somewhere the comment "goat of the goats," and you can make an argument for that. Okay. Yeah, a lot of Ryan Bowman comments. Okay. Do. So video go to Armwrestling, John Brzenk. Oh, I should have picked them out, but it's so many comments. I think it's 200 comments. And some were like really good. I could try to figure it out, but it's better to read them. Yeah, the comments like it seems like it actually seems impossible to surpass him. Like Mount, yeah. To be honest, it really feels like that with all the climate. Like John was going from tournament to tournament. He was harnessing like a lot, like a lot. Like most pros now don't arm wrestle that much. And John was still on the top level all the time, and he was going back and forth from Europe, Asia, whatever. Arm wrestling best, winning Zloty tours. Um, so it's a different thing. There's so many comments. I will not get into the comments. I will just try to remember some of the best arguments. One was like, okay, but okay, I like this one. His left was really bad. His left wasn't. The right was strong, but you cannot make him because his left wasn't that good. Well, he won WOF Worlds. He won like almost all the tournaments he entered with left. He got first or second place. He won Zloty tours with his left hand. His left wasn't overall beast, but you will not see that much from middleweights, from someone who's not the super heavyweight that can go and arm wrestle both arms on the same level on super heavyweights. So I like the comment one said like, well, if John's right could do it, then Oleg Zhok is even better and he can do it. Well, again, if we compare both of those two, yeah, Oleg's left is amazing. Like most likely your best ever, really didn't reach his potential before his accident, and now we'll just have to wait and see. But his right is nowhere near. It's nowhere near. It's not even near. John's was near. It was right there. He won world champion titles, Zloty titles with that hand. So it's kind of ridiculous, to think that left hand of John was bad. It wasn't as good. It wasn't like you super heavy and you're afraid of it, but it's good. Another thing that like this was like arm wrestling eras, like guys back in the day were weaker, or there were less competition, or the level has exploded in the past 5-10 years. It's incredible. I'm like, okay, then let's how about like if you look at North America, the same guys that they were at the top 5-10 years ago are still there. Dave Chafee, Devin Larratt, Michael Todd, Travis if he wants to. So they're still there. Interesting. So 5 years ago when John beat Devin in the final, doesn't matter what kind of Devin he faced, he still faced Devin. It was like the worst, the level was very low then. After that, you just by age you get better, So the same goes right here. Andrei Pushkar was 10 years ago. He's not with us now, but he would have been same top level now when he was 10 years ago. So it's a ridiculous argument and completely cannot be based on truth. I really don't feel that you can't even make the argument better. When we would see, like, how would we know if there are more, like, arm wrestling today is better than before? I would say if we see a lot of changes in top guys. So 80 kilo class has basically new champ every 2 years, or 90, or 100, or 110 plus. Then we would see really expansion. But we see kind of things we always saw. The strongest rise to the top, Zuluev has been dominating his class for 15 years, Engin Terzi won his world title when he was 44. He won world one title 2015, and he said like, well, for sure I wasn't as strong as I was back like 5-10 years ago. So like, again, these are coming from people who has never been into the sport. And it's not like arm wrestling can change that much. We are not MMA. We cannot add new techniques. We can only train smarter, and I think we can only have more people coming into. So of course the cream of the crop will rise to the top. The strongest ones will rise to the top. And I don't remember much of those comments. I think I talked about like some of them were kind of similar. So this is the best one. This is the absolutely best one. Best argument why John Brzenk is not the GOAT. It's because like, to figure out who is the greatest arm wrestler of all time, you need to think about best or prime, Optimus Prime version of each athlete and put them together. And whoever is the strongest, he's the GOAT of arm wrestling. And my reply to that was, I said, this is really cool, but you're basing your thoughts on fantasies, because there's no way to figure that out. Arm wrestling isn't measurable. Like, even we can all do different kinds of lifts, but it will be different results on the table, because it doesn't involve lifting. It involves thinking, moving, coordination, attacking different areas, things like that. To say prime this versus prime that, it's fantasies. It's just absolute fantasies. We can fantasize sometimes, but to figure out and really talk about the sport, you need to talk about facts. And just all the facts point to John Brzenk. And there isn't, not only the facts point to it, athletes who arm wrestle John will point to John Brzenk, So it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. I know you want it to be Levon. I know you want it to be Levon. And then an argument like, even if Levon doesn't lose his 10 matches and things like that, well, as a super heavyweight, as someone who's so much bigger than anyone else, it's very hard to figure out how good you are, or how good, when there's no competition for you if you reach that level. Yeah, if Levon does that, doesn't lose another round, he will for sure be the most dominant heavyweight of all time. But to claim that Levon, because he's we recognize him as number one guy right now, and he's so strong, he's so big, he's the GOAT. Dude hasn't been tested, and he knows that, and he wants to get tested. And again, it's fans who are saying these things. No one in their right mind will tell them. I think we asked Levon who he thinks is the greatest arm wrestler of all time. He would say he loves some Georgians because he grew up there, and I love some Latins because I grew up there. But he would say John Brzenk. So this is really, really, really silly thing. Really, really silly argument. And 23 minutes in, I think we can squash this. If there is no good argument against second place. Some will say, well, Devon is close. Not by a landslide. Like all the things we talked about that John did, most of those things Devon hasn't done. Devon just is spectacular. He's just, amazing arm wrestler, and we have a lot of those. And he's just man explodes charisma, and you don't have to be GOAT of arm wrestling. You can still be recognized as one of the best, or one of the most favorite, or however you want to call it. I really enjoy watching Devon Poole. One of my favorites, hands down, because every time I said this so many times, it's just spectacle. He's nowhere near, not even close. There's more guys in that conversation than John. And again, if you would ask him, he would say the same things, because you don't ask guys, do you think you're the greatest of all time? Well, it's not for an athlete to say those things. It's for his peers, and it's for fans, real fans, not casual fans. So I'm sorry if I broke someone's heart with this. Your facts kind of doesn't matter because they're not real. You're basing all the things on fantasies. Yeah, that's it. That's my monologue for today. Saturday Night Live. But yeah, I'm today I woke up kind of late. I slept around, I think 9 hours. Like yesterday was just crazy. I think we got to eat at close to 1 a.m. Get back, basically fell asleep, woke up, went to the beach just to get away, just to relax a little bit. Now we'll do some videos. New video should be coming out this evening on Armwrestling training. So it's good to be here. If you have, maybe there's some super chat that I missed. I'll figure out and answer them. But no, it's all cool. Yeah, it's very like we had training session yesterday. Just Larry is leveling up so fast. It's just insane. I'm so. It's hard to explain, guys, but he's leveling up like crazy, and he's just yeah, he's so happy, and he loves the sport so much, and I really encourage everyone to buy the event because they will do more. If this event is successful, there will be more, so you won't have to wait, another year and a half for something to happen. They will just, yeah. Do you think Larry's schoolboy's level is schoolboy Larry's level? Was training like this. Two coincidence? Don't think so. Yes, Andrew, you're the master of all this stuff, especially like the videos that I think I already posted. You reposted them basically, but it's cool. It's cool, buddy. It's cool. You do you. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, Sander Shed is from Latvia. He's doing some training videos. Go and check him out too. Yeah. John was ready for second fight with Alexei. Yeah, the whole Alexei, like, if you would know, like, John was, and we talked about this in an interview when we were in Moldova, I think. John, or when we were, I think in Moldova, you can find that video. And John will say that, yeah, I was like, I quit the sport, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years or something like that. He quit the sport. It wasn't really doing anything. And Pulling John documentary showed up his door, and they're like, let's do a film, and basically resurrected his career. So he started arm wrestling, and he was nowhere near his best form. So Alexei Voivoda is one of those stories that I just don't believe we really know how good he is, because you can find him the same year that he beat John, going through hell with young Andrei Pushkar and Europeans, having a really tough match there. And I don't think he faced not even close to good John, because John after that, that's what we call prime John. This is what, from cameras we know because we have the videotapes, but John never refers to that version 2009, 2000, as a prime John, 2006, whatever. So I really don't know. I don't think Alexei Voivoda was tested enough. And we saw that when he came back to face Tim Breslin, who's good, but, everyone expected him to win. Tim Breslin did. Yeah. Okay. Is there a time for that event yet? Oh, I don't know time, but I will figure it out. I'll post on my Instagram for sure, and in stories or community section of this too. Yeah. Devon and Michael, they both said they're strongest now compared to before, and before that just few months, Levin destroys Michael in all training. What else you gonna say? Of course you're gonna say I'm the best I have ever been. Of course, like what else you gotta say? You never hear a fighter before a match saying like, well, 7 fights ago I was really good, but now I'm like, meh, that's exactly what you say. But we don't have any way to measure it. We will have a winner, but to say you were super good, only arm wrestlers that face you will know that. So I know a lot of times you will have matches with someone you're like, oh, I couldn't even touch you that day. Well, today you felt like human. Before that, I couldn't even touch you. And again, it could be like, you're just weaker. They're the same, or they got weaker. So again, fantasies, a lot of fantasies. How's Larry's training going? Really, really good. It's always funny when people like. First of all, I know there's so many experts in the comment section. It's incredible. I didn't know we have so much arm wrestling coaches. I really didn't know. I'm amazed. Everyone's giving us advice. Everyone's sending Larry and me messages about like what we should be doing, and I'm like, okay, cool. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Yeah. I thought about the same thing about, 2 years ago, basically, but it doesn't matter. I love the love. We love that people are involved in this, but I'm doing best I can do in this short time. We're skipping a lot of things that we don't need to be doing. He will not be the most complete arm wrestler, but he will be ready to face a schoolboy. That's what I can assure you. He will be in much, 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 much better position to face him than previous time. And we can see it on table. We can see it with weights. We can see it just by him thinking on table, activating things, and everything else. And so yesterday, someone left a comment on my Instagram under the post, and they're like, Devin is taking 6 weeks off. Don't you think Larry should relax or rest so he would be better? So I'm here for 5 weeks. Like, what's the point of me coming here? And if the point of being well rested is better than being coached, then you don't need to be coached, Like, that's just unbelievably small thinking. Like, Larry really doesn't know how to arm wrestle. I'm here to teach him how to arm wrestle. So it's so silly. It's so just stupid. And then everyone's like, yeah, but maybe you should do this or that. And then you should be like, how do you deal with tendons recover different, or what does, like, why do you think our arms hurt? Our arms doesn't hurt. I do everything that Larry stays as basically, he will have some inflammation. He will have some muscle tiredness, but we don't go that hard. I'm keeping him healthy because I really believe only like if you are healthy, you will always do better when you are super strong, but your tendons cannot hold when you have pain. Zero pain equals strength, in my opinion. Pain equals pain, and it will be always in the back of your head, and it always keep you back, and your body will always fight you. So I read those comments and I'm like, I don't like that part about arm wrestling community. It's like, why would you give me or ask me about something that I do all day and you know nothing about? You don't know how the training sessions are scheduled, what we are doing, how long they are, what the volume, intensity, all those things are. And then they're like, okay, we'll see you on 28. Yeah, you see you on 28. That's exactly. Just wait for it. Yeah. Okay. Some guys told you how to train, right? It's pure disrespect. It's not disrespect. It's okay. I understand. Like, everyone's, you want to be that guy, like, I saw the comment that this guy gave me great advice. Yeah, sometimes that will be good advices, but I've written everything down, what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, when we're going to do it. We're kind of ahead of some things. And I will not talk about those things because, it's a surprise. Obviously, we'll see a surprise. But I had everything written down about, I don't know, close to 2-3 weeks before coming here. I already had it figured out what we need, how we're going to achieve it, how many sessions and things like that. And just, it's very good that guys, like, when I'm right now in training sessions with them, coaching them, he doesn't go super hard with anyone that much. He just tries to work, and we will have some challenges. Like, I will allow guys to fall out, do a lot of elbow fouls. He cannot foul out, things like that, to keep him in check, to make his training harder with easier opponents and things like that. So you need to understand, Larry hasn't been arm wrestling that long. and he hasn't been arm wrestling that efficiently. That means they're mostly just trying to win on table. Now they are practicing. They're really like, oh, I'm going to practice what I'm doing here, you know? Yeah. Dude, have you seen Larry get a PR deadlift? His mind is like wild horse, but he becomes so strong as you should say to Larry to act like when he deadlifts, when he arm wrestles. Thanks for advice. Another one. Thanks for a great advice, dude. You really don't think that we're gonna go super aggressive? You think we're gonna be very passive? But do you think you need to be super aggressive in training? Like when we're practicing on table and I'm giving commands on what to do, what to understand, and he needs to focus on those things. Do you think screaming and shouting and holding his breath will help him there? No, you can do it in competition. I don't shout at training sessions, only to have fun. If you see me on table, I'm a different dude there. It's like everyone who faces me I can come to the table and be like very nice mode. Like, yes, take everything. We'll try to arm wrestle. I cannot get anything back from you. That's awesome. And I'm like, okay, so you think you can pin me? You know? So their mindsets, the things that you do, you know, this is how you get injured, you know. Okay. Hope Larry in training table is not the same Larry in day of competition. Get him angry but focused. Yeah, that's what I said. Love. I think you stated will be major competitor and thinks Schoolboy simply has too much experience. Yeah, the experience part is the one we're fighting against. You know, we don't have competition experience. I have it. You know, Larry doesn't have it. So that is kind of the problem. But he's such a quick learner and he's a competitor. The only thing I don't know, he has competed against person. That's a different animal than competing against weights. You know, when you have to beat them, it's a different thing than lift something. So we'll see. Here's a man. Yeah. Oh, I just saw John Uncle How Wrestling Show. Don't do that PR lift. Don't do the last PR lift side pressure. It looks terrible. Doesn't make any sense. I don't know why they did it. I don't know. It was Bowen's influence or what. Just don't do it. It's cool that you can do it. Like my recommendation, if you want to try that move, go for 20 rep max. You should not be able to hurt yourself with 20 rep max, not less. You know, try to go for 21 reps, but no less than 20. That should keep you safe. That will keep your end range, tendons strengthened. You know, you'll have a workout. But basically, all the things they said in a setup, like the shoulder outside, arm only supinated. What else? Elbow that cannot move. Nothing of that is arm wrestling. You know, that's arm wrestling in the worst form possible. There's a few people on the planet Earth that can do that efficiently on a table in a match. I have had those matches where I'm well outside my shoulder. Those are not my favorite matches to look at. You're kind of out of position and you're just pulling yourself. Terrible. I do not recommend anyone to do it. It's just plain. It's stupid. Yeah. I'm not going to be part of this. I'm not at all. I'm 100% against this. I forgot what the channel name was, but some Russian guy, they were doing like good side pressure challenge. Like basically from a front facing cable, you take the handle, you take it out yourself, you flex your wrist and you drop to the side. That looks more like arm wrestling. So now, even if your shoulder falls apart, your wrist, if you cannot move your wrist, you cannot do anything. You know, that's my or Latvian style arm wrestling side pressure. You know, when you see me and Janis doing it from front, it's because there's a lot of tension on the hand. Sanders knows what we're talking about. That makes sense. The other one really doesn't make sense to me. There's Todd Hutchings and a few others that can do it. And like for a presser, I always want my shoulder to be like worst position is in the same line, always inside, never outside. Like you cannot. How are you going to press like this? And it's like the move that they're doing. It's no. Yeah. Straight hand to the cup is to mimic a start in arm wrestling. Yeah. Ego lifting is time you're looking for, right? Yeah. There's like, yeah. So Bojidar, yeah, I saw that VRL beat him. Yeah, I'm very impressed. Like, but it's very hard. VRL's pronator and back pressure is insane, and I think Bojidar is just doing too much. You cannot have that level of competition too often. Everyone knows that, you know. Yeah, yeah. It was today. It was today, like a few hours ago. It's just not even a few hours ago. I think an hour ago. Yeah, I watched the live stream. I saw 2-2. I didn't see the last match, but yeah, Bojdar is just taking on too much too fast, and yeah, Viral is so dangerous. He's so good, getting that position. Yeah. Coach, I have wrist pain in my left wrist from arm wrestling. Is it carpal tunnel? Dude, no disrespect, but I'm not a doctor and I cannot figure that stuff out from from here and from one comment. Go to physio, do some checkup. Yeah. Left arms, goat. Dennis left arm. Hey, Dennis left arm. 3 times. Oh, Boże, that the guy trains. Honestly, does Larry have the potential to be number one in North America? Uh, yeah, he has the potential. He really has the potential. It's just about time. 2, 3 years, he would like if he wouldn't get injured, and let's hope for that. Yeah, he has the great potential. Really does. Really, really does. He's the guy that really his hand is big, but it's not as strong as you would want it to be. But his arm is super strong, so he has that going for it. And we do like we did a lot of training for the hand, and his hand is getting much better. Um, John Kowalski asked a million times already, but Lord, what do you favor to win as of today? Having information videos, how at the moment, but now I think Michael is the favorite to win. I think Michael, yeah, from everything, from we know that Michael was in a good shape here. He's training, lifting, arm wrestling, and we really don't know what's going on with Devin that much. Because I don't know how good was McMass when he faced him. So those are things, but I hope it's going to be a war. Yeah, I love Devin. I'm my one of my favorites is Devon, so I'm supporting him. But I think Michael's gonna win. We'll see. I wouldn't care who wins. I will be happy to see that match happening, and the strongest guy will win. So you know, John Brzenk. Please try to call up John Brzenk or make call. Yeah, John Brzenk's YouTube channel is my favorite, or his Instagram motivating posts. John doesn't do those things. Just leave John alone. Let John be John. Only push guard. Nobody. Nobody. Steroids. It would be surprised if Devon pulls off the win based on training and effort put in it. Yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah, because I see Michael has been super dedicated because he was thinking he would pull Levon. It would be very, very weird if Devon would win. Yeah. Voivoda Peanut Dennis left easily. I think Dennis and Voivoda has never pulled each other. Yeah. One versus Vitaly Intipate, they both screaming meaning. So screaming actually does help to get stronger and for arm wrestling. What do you mean by that? So you think if because someone screams, it helps? It helps for me. I know for a lot of people it doesn't help. I don't think that I'm gonna scream. I just do. If this guy did this, then turns out this is this. Yeah. Alex said they trained together. Yeah. What about a set up a match with you and Jake Paul? Buckload of money. Devon is going into this match with the same mindset when he pulled Dennis, and we remember how that went. How do you know that? How do you know that? Okay. What do you think is the thing that made Gasparini so strong now? I think Matt doesn't stand a chance. Gasparini's hand control is just insane. Like he was so strong in any position with the hand, wherever movement. Do you speak Russian? Yes, I do. Sometimes I speak Russian, sometimes I speak English. Sometimes I speak Latvian. So much in Philadelphia. Yeah, I speak Super Saiyan. Timmy made the best compilation of me being a Super Saiyan. Чем речка? Джон лучший во всех время. Да. John Lucci. I will never do max side press. Those who can do it are special. So some have different gifts. No one finds out how this. Yeah, the side pressure thing is like I basically did so much side pressure really for up until 2 years ago. I think like a lot, too much. In my opinion, too much. And the thing was, something wasn't supporting it, and I was having all the pain. Sometimes I wasn't having pain. I could move a lot of weight, like really a lot of weight, but all the time I have some nagging things. I'm like, nah, I just cannot do it. I took out my side pressure training basically last year. My side pressure went up, like on table. It really went up. It doesn't matter how much I felt weight I could lift, but being fresher, stronger, I was much stronger, So you still need to do some kind of side pressure training, in my opinion. You just need to keep it in your technique, keep it in check, keep it in the best possible positions, not the worst possible positions. If you work on your worst possible positions, do it, but very light weights, and it's just ridiculous to me. Ray, we need to see Latvians in action when it's Riga Open. Full lockdown. As soon as we open up, we'll do nationals month later. Latvians will pull in August in Hardanger Open in Norway. Me versus Frode, Vlad, Marats, Kaspars. Jan is gonna be there. Toms might come for a tournament and another one. So Hardanger Open, August 1923, something like that. John Brzenk, if everything's open with traveling, John Brzenk is going to be there, and Interzee, and much more, and it's just going to be an amazing event. So I recommend everyone, closer it gets, more information I'm going to put out. Live stream for super matches will be right here on Voice of Armwrestling, as well as East versus West. I'm waiting. We will do basically little live shows with Engin, and we want to get Zluyev, Todd Hutchings, Tony Kitowski, Pozhidar, and talk about their upcoming matches. And I would recommend everyone to support the event. I think if someone can, please post it in the chat, the link to the GoFundMe page. They raised like $6,000 or even more, $6,000. That's so awesome for arm wrestling. That's really, really awesome. Yeah. Who's the number one puller in Latvia? It's between Sandris and Vlad, I would say. Norman's had a shoulder injury, so he should be out for some time. But Norman comes back, and if he's strong, Norman's is the top guy. Say M&D are both elites. Sport, Costine will win. Okay. Your opinion on Gennady? He won like 10-2 versus Levin. But this not come seriously recent. Do you think Gennady overhypes himself, or he's that kind of a monster? Yeah, Gennady was the top dog when Levin was coming up. So there are differences. Like for the moment you surpass someone, it's very hard for them to get you back. And I think that's it's very hard. But again, Gennady is the only guy that really understands the weaknesses and strengths of Levon. So he will have always that advantage versus everyone else. You can see it versus. I remember when Sasha was killing everyone, and the only guy that would give him trouble were his training partner in the finals. We're like, whoa, because he knows him so good. Same thing is. Latvians that train together, we will know each other weaknesses better than anyone else. So there are no such thing as overhyping. If the question for Gennady, so it's not a problem. Yeah, I want to thank everyone. 50,000 subscribers. It's kind of cool. Yeah, it hasn't been that much for most people, but I feel like this is great for an arm wrestling channel, for a real arm wrestling channel, which talks and things like that, where we didn't get the subscribers by viral videos and things like that. So it's a slow grow, but I'm really happy about it. I'm really happy that I can do something that people like and enjoy, and they can use it. So if you use my training systems, programs, exercise, doesn't matter, or you watch the videos and just enjoy the banter, or my thoughts on things. Yeah, that's really cool. I appreciate you guys so much. Will Dynasty Blanco return to the top level? You should go and ask Dennis. I don't know, dude. I have no insight on that. But he screams when he lifts. Maybe just try to remind. Like, stop it. Like ML channel. Like I talked about this. Dude's gonna do what dude's gonna do. Like imagine that conversation. I'm like, Larry, can you scream before you start a match? He looks at me like, can you scream a little? He's like, like, no more, just more. You feel if you feel like you need to do it. If that helps you, like some guys need to stay really, really calm. I know a lot of guys that they need to stay really, really calm. Some guys will keep the aggression to themselves. They will kind of grunt. If I feel confident, I will explode. So Larry will just figure out what kind of arm wrestler he is. Most likely, he's the screamer. Most likely, yeah. How good is Prime Giannis compared? Well, Prime Giannis was the best lightweight on the planet. Prime Giannis was best lightweight on the planet for 4 years, and it's no argument, because he won every tournament he entered in that class, in that time frame. Won WL. Again, I don't know if you listen to the conversation, but you cannot measure wrestling and say, oh, this guy is 3,000. This guy is 3,200. So this guy is stronger in his prime. There's no numbers for arm wrestling. It's only who you faced when you were coming up. Facing 75 kilo Zaluyev, winning him, I think that's pretty much sums it up how strong Giannis was. Yeah. He should have a belt on. So yeah, Larry should have a belt. Like that would be so epic. It's the match. It's the belt off. That was so good. Something. Yeah, I have done a lot of things. Yeah, now I'm just working on this. My girlfriend's channel, also my friend. We're doing podcast in Latvian. Yeah. What about Alexei Voivoda? Go back about, I don't know, 25 minutes in, I guess. Listen to that. Why didn't Giannis move up in a weight class? Giannis is naturally 77 kilos. For him to go up, he cannot get more muscle because he's natural, and he doesn't want to get fatter. Why would he go up? That's his class. That's his weight class. So there's two ways you move up. Either you get fat like me, or you take some steroids. that's not the approach we ever took or gonna take. So yeah, and Giannis still has gone to overalls. Of course, like if you 78 kilo puller and Nemiroff, you win that. Most likely, if you're not Oleg Jok, there's nothing to do in overalls. But Giannis has won so many overalls in different countries and different places. So why would you need to go up? You know, yeah. It's some guys will, yeah, well, I can, if you can do it, that's awesome for you. You're amazing. That's great. It's like asking like about what other people are doing. Yeah. If the top roll was invented to counter hook, what is the counter for top roll? More hook, or better top roll. Yeah, those two things. Dude, yes, man, it's those people that hype, man. That's like in PR had people encouraging, say, Larry, a fan, said to scream and armlessly. Say to Larry, a fan, you're said to scream and armlessly. Sure. Yeah. Hey, Lloyd, thank you, man. It's cool. It's cool. No need for that, but it's cool. Yeah, 56 minutes in. Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, the start of the video was to talk about some, how John is not the GOAT. Yeah, just stop it. Just stop it. Just, listen. How does it feel personally to be at the center of arm wrestling as it continues to grow? The event, I feel, is a big moment for arm wrestling. Yeah, I feel this event will be very big moment for arm wrestling. I really do. I feel like it's something we kind of needed, especially in this time. Being in Dubai really helps. Like yesterday, we had 5 new guys coming to the practice, like guys that never arm wrestled. I mean, even one Latvian came. I guess he was coming to Jan's training at some point for the Jan's club. I never met him, so maybe I met him. I don't remember. But we have bodybuilders coming in. We have all the different. We had like a huge Serbian like YouTuber Nico, 700,000 subscribers. He just came to arm wrestle and just train. I think 200,000 on Instagram. So I'm having kind of growth from everywhere. Not as much, like not a huge expansion, because you like if you would subscribe to this channel, you would like, what's the value? What I'm gonna, yeah. So it's really big moment. I feel we can do a lot of things with this. The problem is arm wrestling community really needs to come together for this, really support it, and see what the next steps are, and get more involved in these things, in all of these things. So I kind of feel we're still very much underground sport. I listened to that episode with Wonderboy today. I finished on Joe Rogan, and Wonderboy was getting into arm wrestling. He was like, "I'm going to start talking about arm wrestling," and Joe just changed subjects, and I'm like, no, we were so close, because that would be so cool. I'm a huge fan of Joe Rogan and Wonderboy as well, Wonderboy Thompson, and just, that would be so cool. Yeah, Thor's here. I hope to do something with Thor. Maybe get him on table, give him the basics, because he has. I don't know if has anyone really teach him arm wrestling. I don't know how much. I saw they did something with Michael and then with Devin, but give him basics, because eventually I believe like that's the road for everyone. Arm wrestling is the next thing. If you don't want to get hit in the face, like how much you want to get hit in the face, then you're gonna do some arm wrestling. So those things are really good. That we have a lot of people from different areas seeing arm wrestling, trying, and things like that. So yeah. Know your techniques. Is Larry stronger in hook or top roll? Which style will he use for schoolboy? Well, you will find out on 28. Has an amateur ever won a tournament? World is big. I don't know. I guess so. amateur. I don't know what does an amateur mean. If you're a national team, you are not an amateur, so no chance. And like, or everyone who's in WAF world is an amateur. That's an amateur sport. I guess the answer is yes and no. I don't know, dude. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Can you try to do a call with National Armwrestling called Armwrestling? Can you try to do a collab with potential Armwrestling con? I don't know, dude. Like, I'm not trying to do anything. If it happens, it happens. Is it ticket for real schoolboy separate? No, it's the same. It's the same event. It's the same event. You force your students to go pro after a few amateur competitions. Like what is the pro? What does pro mean? There's no such thing as pro, in my opinion. It's kind of silly, like going pro. There's no benefit on going pro. Either you are good or you're not good. Either you're cleaning a comp. Like if you're a novice and you beat everyone, one tournament just destroyed, no one touched you, or you had some good matches, you came next time, you again destroyed everyone. There's no point of arm wrestling novices. You go to next class, let's say amateurs. And again, you're just destroying everyone in amateur, you just go to the next level. And you move up and you just move up and then you become like the pro class will be called different in different countries, in different places. So depending on where you are, the pros will be different. But it's like the highest class. And most of the time, like I didn't go through novice or amateurs. Like my first national match was against Giannis Almolic when he was the world champ. Yeah, first time. But it was with left hand, but I was like, oh no, first time. And that's how I started arm wrestling. I think I got like 1 W that day, 1 win with each arm, It was like 14, 15 guys competition. And there was no novice. Everyone was doing arm wrestling like everyone was like 5, 6 years ahead of me, at least, So, I created that system in Latvia later. So for everyone, it's just, if you're good, move up, if you have novice, amateur, like Sweden has a lot of like class 1, class 2. I remember things like that. So just as soon as you're good enough, just move up. There's no point of taking those medals. You want medals? Call me. I have so much medals I don't need, really don't care about. Because a lot of people will be like, yeah, I want those medals. Yeah. Oh, I see. It's a big set. Basically, novice, and then the next step is Tom Holland. Yeah. Like, if there's nothing between, be as best as you could at novice. If you clean up novices, but if you don't feel like you can move up, but if you stay too long in novices, you kind of just embrace of being novice. I'm like, just stop it. Just go, like, then you need to figure out, can you get to the next level? Can I be as good as these guys? Because everyone's always want to jump in and be like, if I'm not number 1, I will stay there. No, you will eat that shit, you will eat that pile of shit to being second, third, make you want to be number 1 so you can get that shit taste out of your mouth. Yeah. Okay. Can Lachlan flash Levin? Of course, because he's fastest, Yeah. Hey, Chance. Yeah, Chance is in the chat. Chance, how to see Lachlan yesterday in round bunch of weight? Your opinion on Lachlan now? Is he able to fight people like Devon? We just have to find out. I don't know. I don't know. Ray, would you do a breakdown on Michael Stott's technique? I saw that comment somewhere. Yeah, and Jesse just deleted it. Come on, Jesse. I think I would. Yeah. Yeah. Is Khaled still arm wrestling? No. How much you weigh when you were 18? Did you take a few years to reach the current weight you're now, or even be heavier than? I was 74, you know. But I was always dieting. I was always trying to get the 74 kilo class, not letting myself. I was going 76 and then cutting weight, and it was like every year. I don't know how long. I could still. Last time I was 2018. I was 70 kilos, and Europeans looked like Death himself woke up from the grave, uh, and then I just like I should left. But when I'm not fat, I'm basically 83 and still fat. I believe like 82, 81 is my real weight. I'm 86, 85 now. Haven't weighed in a few days, but uh, I bought some Sprite, so all this extra water on my face. But yeah, 70. I think 76 was something like I was walking around, and but I was still cutting weight. Doesn't like then I changed weight classes, and then I was started cutting weight for those weight classes because food was so good. And if you have like like the thing that happens with a lot of wrestlers, like wrestlers, they always trying to get into the weight class. So as soon as they have to stop, their body just explodes because it wants to refeed the years of just being malnutrition. Yeah, yeah. Can you give me one reason you would put Engin above Rustam in all-time best list? I didn't make the list. I was not a part of the list. If you watch that video, you should know that. Uh, Engin, because of longevity and because of the things he's done. But again, you should really ask the guys that made the list, and they've been watching around arm wrestling, and they know much more. Because if I don't know something, I will ask. I will send a message to Engin, like Engin, am I right on this, or what do you think about this, or Eric Rosen or Yanis? It doesn't matter. Like I still accumulate most of my information through them because I wasn't there. I haven't faced those guys. I haven't seen those things, so I have to trust the experts. And like, who else you gonna trust? Uh, I bench like my best gym 207.5 and in competition 190, about 90 kilo body weight, 185 kilos in 83 kilo class, something like that. Is steroid allowed in arm wrestling? They're not allowed, but like there are competitions that will not do testing. We know about those competitions, so guys will go to those competitions. So I guess you want to take all the steroids and get into arm wrestling. That's most likely the question. Would you consider Michael Todd's technique unique, having felt it? Yeah, it's unique. I have never experienced that before. When someone, like usually when you get in a good position, someone will rotate. There will be rotation either to the pronator, they will rotate you, get you out, or rotate you like this. Michael just like hinges you back. So that is pretty damn weird. Um, I'm asking generally, Rustam has to be most underrated arm wrestler ever. Yeah, Rustam gets a lot of bad rap. People keep forgetting he's like the king of 95 kilos. He's like the king. If John Brzenk wasn't pulling at that weight class, Rustam would be one of the most dominant guys there. He just went up to face super heavyweights because he could. You know, it wasn't that much success in it, but not a lot of guys can do that. That's another like as all success that Rustam has had, John could go up and face those guys successfully, and that's the difference. Many thanks for what you do. Do. Possibly see arm wrestling in the Olympics next few years. No, arm wrestling is not going to be in Olympics. Like we cannot pull together an event. We cannot come together as a community when we need. We don't have like our biggest podcast is Fix. Imagine that. Arm wrestling biggest podcast is fixed, and maybe 4,000 people listen to it. It's funny. What are you talking about? Olympics. Olympics needs to have some interest in it. It's not just sport. Arm wrestling is really good as sport. If you go to WAF, Europe, the level that I do it, it's a sport. It's not like everything's strict, elbow fouls, so it's a sport. We don't have that much of anything. We don't have that much of anything. Like people still don't understand rules of it. Still, if you see the table, other people will not recognize that it's arm wrestling table. If everyone, like most people on the planet, would recognize arm wrestling table, yeah, arm wrestling could get into the Olympics. There are a lot of things that follow with that. It's the thing that is, yeah. Rustam has won 18 worlds and 19 Europeans, also won multiple, because undefeated record versus Hutchings. Yeah, like Rustam, people keep forgetting that he's a badass. Because he's facing these super heavyweights, the guys that outweigh him by 70 kilos, that out leverage him on table. He still goes to war with most of them, but he wasn't that successful. Bill Muzzle, okay. Olympics need full natural, no drugs. Arm wrestling needs drugs. No, arm wrestling doesn't need drugs. You're in the wrong chat room, buddy. This that's the no. We can have the side where it's cool and interesting and whatever, but there's still sport behind it. So yeah, I don't think so. Okay, guys. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. 50,000. That's amazing. John Brzenk still the GOAT. Stay strong. Love arm wrestling. I'll see you guys next time.